Hey guys, so video number 3 for chapter 15. Um, we are going to talk about significance tests for beta, which is the slope of the LSRL line. So just a reminder, we have y hat equals a plus bx, that's coming from our sample, and we're trying to make predictions about mu sub y, alpha plus beta x, which is our whole population. So we're going to start off with a significance test, and I'm hoping in the next 10 minutes I can accomplish that. We're still using our Manatee powerboat registration data, and then my plan is to do a confidence interval as well because they have a lot of the same ideas, and then hopefully kind of wrap up what's going on and then maybe walk through another example in another video. Well, here we go. So we're talking about our population. Our population was manatee deaths. Our parameter is beta. Oh, please focus, you darn computer. Oh no. Please focus. Yes, okay, our parameter is beta, which is the slope, and we need to be in context of manatee deaths because that's y versus power boat registration. Our conditions we did in the previous video, as I mentioned before, they're really hard to prove. We're going to roll with it. I'll be very honest. If we do a test, I really don't know how we're going to do tests. I'm not sure what we're going to do right now. But if we were in regular class and we were to do a test, I wouldn't ask you much about conditions. I would just have you do the stinking work for the problem, like the formula, parameter, all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to be like, check. So let's talk about hypotheses. When I look at our manatee data, so I'm going to turn on plot 1. I'm going to go to my scatter plot, and I want L1 and L2. And I go to zoom 9. That's our manatee data. I think we can agree that that's definitely positive. And if we were to run a quick regression on that, r and r squared, yeah, the suck is positive. So when we talk about our hypotheses, we always have, oopsies, for h naught, beta equals 0. Always, 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 always in our world. HA, we're going to go beta greater than 0. We're trying to state there is a positive relationship between manatee deaths and powerboat data. But we need to prove that the positive relationship exists, and that's what the significance test is going to do. So our formula is going to be introduced right now, and that's on the probably I think page 3 of the notes that I had given you. It is, I gotta move my post-it note, a t-test. T equals b minus 0, because hey, we're talking about 0 here, divided by the standard error of b. And I know you're like, what is that? You haven't told us about that. I know, I'm getting there. Jeez. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump right into our calculator. B, we knew that from running our regression. It's 0.124 or 5, whatever we've used in the past, minus 0, divided by the standard error of b. Well, the formula for the standard error of b, goodness, you're not going to like this, you guys. The standard error of b is like b, or the slope standard deviation, and it's s, which is the standard deviation of the whole line, divided by the summation of x minus x bar quantity squared. I don't think so. Our calculator does this for us. Oh, and by the way, we're going to have degrees of freedom of n minus 2, because with respect to our lists, we've got 2 lists, we have to take away 2. So here's what I need you guys to do. Go to stat, go to calc, go over to tests. We need to kind of go down to the bottom. This is a lin-reg for linear regression t-test. Hit it. X list is L1, Y list is L2. Don't worry with the frequency. If you're wondering, like, what is this? This is beta, and this is something called rho. We're not even going to go there. We're choosing greater than. Regression equation was in Y1 because that's where we put it. Hit calculate. Sweet. we have a t-score of 9.68. We have a p-value of 2.55 times 10 to the negative 7. Our degrees of freedom, I believe we had 14 data points minus 2, so that's why it's 12. And if you keep scrolling, it'll give you A and B. Oh, hey, write down this S thing. I'm going to talk to you guys about that, hopefully in this video if I can speed up my process. That's not that bad. Our calculator's going to do it for us. You don't have to do that much. So now and don't worry, I'm not going to make you calculate the standard error of B, but I really hope my computer screen focuses. Come on. We'll get there. I'll fix it in just a second. So we now need to address our conclusion, and there it's fixed. You're familiar with this. Based on a p-value of 0, which is less than our alpha value of 0.05, I reject H naught in favor of HA, period. Evidence indicates a positive relationship between manatee deaths, remember that's your Y, and powerboat registrations X. Guys, we just did a significance test. It's that speedy. I've got 3.5 minutes. I'm going to do a confidence interval right now. And then I'm going to walk you through this concept of S and how to read things out of printouts in my next video. So let's do a confidence interval. So let's say that we want to predict beta from B. Well, confidence intervals, that's going to be B, because that's our statistic, plus and minus T star times the standard error of B. Now, I talked about this before. You're probably not ever going to know what this is, so just fill in what you know. We can do this, guys. Our B was 0.125 plus and minus. So let's do a 95% confidence interval. If we do a 95% confidence interval with degrees of freedom 14 minus 2, which is 12, I'm going to come here into my packet, and it's in my book, and I know you guys can't quite see it. Shoot. Hey, I learned something. 95%, we need to come up to 14 degrees of freedom. That's our T star, 2.145. Oh, shoot, 12 degrees of freedom. Keep going, girl. 2.179. There we go. So 2.179 times the standard error of B. We would never calculate the standard error of B, but what we can do is turn on our calculator. Go to Stat, go to Tests. All the way on the bottom is linreg T int. L1, L2, 95%. Guys, you can do this. Hit enter. It took a second to think. We have 0.09674 to 0.15298. That's our confidence interval. So I am 95% confident. The slope relating manatee deaths and power boat registration lies between these two numbers. Done. You guys have done this before. You can do this. I apologize if you hear buzzing on the table. My mom is blowing up my phone. She thinks I'm at home and I'm at school. I'm in class. So I know what your guys' lives are like when everybody's bugging you on your phone. A couple things about this. This interval is totally positive. 0 is not in the interval. That means our slope is positive. We have a positive relationship. If this thing were totally negative, then we'd have a negative scatter plot and a negative R and a negative relationship. If 0 is in there, we don't know if we have a relationship because it could be flatlined and boring and absolutely no correlation. So that was in 10 minutes. Holy cow. I'm trying to get all this information in here, and I hope I'm not going too fast, but here's the beauty of it. Pause me, play it again, listen to it, slow me down. I hope you guys are okay. I miss you. New video coming soon.